Welcome to The Passion Pod with your host, Chris Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the feature presentation.
Welcome back, friends. Today we're sitting with another guest, one that I was like, man, I really want to interview her. Hopefully she says yes. I had sent messages to all the bands, 2 months ago or something for Reverb Music Festival after I found out I'd be doing interviews. And I was like, I wonder who's going to be down. So I knew I had Mayday Parade. I knew I had Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. And I was like, I'm going to listen to all the music and see what's up. In Charlotte Sands, I was like, dude, I really dig this. I hope she's down. Didn't get any messages, but then yesterday I saw a little DM reaction to my setup of mics of the little eyes with the heart emoji, and I'm like, she's down. I'm so stoked. Welcome to the show, Charlotte Sands.
Thank you. I was like, who is he about to say? He's like, we couldn't get any of these people, so we're going to settle for Charlotte.
Oh, whatever. No, genuinely, I really like a female lead voice in music.
You.
I really do. I've been listening to the
Yeah
Yeahs is been around forever, but for whatever reason I've been on a tick of them real heavy.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot of festivals that I've been doing as well, which is sick.
You played with them?
Not on stage with them, but they've been on the lineup. I think Shaky Knees.
Gotcha. Do you get starstruck when you meet people like that still?
It's strange. I feel like there's certain people. Honestly, this is so funny. I just forgot this story until this second, but Mayday Parade was one of the bands that I literally went up to them and I was like, I've never done this in my whole life, but you need to know how important you are to me, and cool. I'm so sorry, and I know this is weird. I think it was at Riot Fest, I think, in Chicago, which is actually another one of the festivals. Yeah, it was all these people and a lot of the same people that are playing today, which is super cool. But I remember just being I have to go say hi to them, because it's We the Kings and Mayday and the Main, that was kind of what I grew up on. So yeah. I was I just have to be a weirdo for a second, and then I can move on and try to be cool.
Yeah, well, that's the funny part. I've met a ton of people. I've been doing this show a long time, and I grew up skateboarding. I own a skateboard shop. I've had it for almost 10 years. Thank you so much. So I've been a skateboard nerd my whole life, and when I meet pro skateboarders,
I can't believe Avril Lavigne invented skateboarding. It's not so
she
crazy.
Did. Yeah, her and Ragdoll.
Yeah.
But no, for real, when I meet pro skateboarders, those are the ones that I fan out on. Not anybody else, but them, to me, when I was a kid, those were the untouchable people. So I still get all giddy and nervous,
100%. And I think there's people that I've met that are more famous than other people, and I'm oh, that's I really respect you, and I really look up to you a lot in certain things. But then there's other people that I get more excited about just because they hold more of a weight for me personally. But I don't know. I think there's also this level of just when you start meeting people that you look up to, or you're really inspired by, you've paid attention to for the majority of your life, and then you just meet them and you realize that they're just people who are really good at something and are they're very normal. Everyone's so much more normal than I ever expected, and they're just normal people that have to eat food and drink water, and it's just
they need
not
sustenance.
They have to sleep too, and they are. It's such a strange concept when you start realizing that they're not these AI generated things that you just you know what I mean? I don't know. It's very strange, but I feel I've been really lucky to only work with people that are so kind and so generous and humble and so they always champion me and motivate me. I've never worked with anybody in this genre especially that I've been disappointed by in any way. It's always been the opposite. The main guys are the nicest people I've ever met in my whole life. I worked with them as a fan and DM'd them a year ago being I love your album. I love Sticky. It's so sick. And then we ended up working together, and the amount of shows we played together, the tours we've done together, now they're some of my favorite friends and people in the world. So it's I don't know, I've just also gotten really lucky. I bet there's a lot of really negative experiences out there, but not for me personally.
Yeah, I think, it happens for a myriad of reasons, but yeah, I agree. When you look up to somebody, you think everything about them must be perfect. And then you meet them and you realize, no, they're what I look up to them for, they're good at. Right. But they may be bad at a number of other things.
They might not be they probably are a horrible driver, or a bunch of things that are very normal.
I've met singers that stutter when they talk, really heavy, and I'm how do you have such a beautiful voice, but then when you conversate, you struggle with that.
Yeah,
it's
so
surprising to me.
It's really strange, but there's something that's really, I love I loved that like realization, because it also made me realize that like the pressures that I think we put on ourselves to like look like people or act like people or come off as cool or like all these things is just like, it's not real. And so it's like I really helped me be like, oh, these are just like people who like go home to their families or like their significant other or their kids or like their dog in their apartment, and then like also watch a movie and go to bed, or like all these normal things. And then I was like, oh, I don't have to like live a certain way or like look a certain way or do certain things to like be successful or like any of these things. I can just like be a normal person and like make music that I love and like try to be kind and like really normal human things and hopefully succeed. But yeah, it was a very nice realization.
It makes things seem reachable, you know, because when you look at that, it's like, I can never be that. And then you meet them and you're like, well, I could be like that. But just, you know, the one thing that they're really good at, but it just makes it go, okay, well, this is within reach for me.
For
so
sure.
Talking about people that you're within reach of, you had a song drop like what, yesterday?
Yeah.
So who is that with? What's the story of that? I mean, I listened to it. It was dope. But.
Thank you. Nox. Nox is a really, really cool artist, and he makes like pop, like alt rock stuff as well. And then he is in Nashville, so we met in Nashville, and he's had like a lot of stuff blow up on social media and just like super, super sick on socials, and like really able to monetize. And like I really respect artists in this day and age who like can commit to like social media in that way, because it is such an incredible tool, and he's somebody who like fully is able to do that, and he's just crushing, and he's so talented and an incredible writer and singer. And so we wrote that song together, I think in April, and then I just sang the second verse on it just because we thought it was a really cool duet, and wasn't sure if I was going to sing it or not. I was like, obviously I'd be so grateful to be a part of anything he puts out, but yeah, so then we ended up just like putting it out together, which is so fun. It's so fun to be, it's another example of like being friends with people and being able to make music with people that you love and genuinely enjoy being around.
And I think other artists are understanding the advantages beyond it just being a personally fun thing to do. But other artists are seeing, like looking at Chance the Rapper and going, wow, he got all these different features from all these different genres, and it works. It really does work to like cross-pollinate in that way. It's the same reason that people like to perform at festivals, right? Because a lot of people who are going to be out there cheering for you shortly we're here for Red Jumpsuit, or we're here for All Time Low, or we're, you know, but then they discover you through that, and they're like, wow, this chick has it. I love it.
100%. The entire, like, my favorite thing about all of this is like the ability to collaborate. I mean, in general, it's like with songwriters, with producers, but especially with like artists and like other creatives and like performers and bands. It's like the highlights of my entire career have been the moments where I've been able to like go to When We Were Young and sing with 303, who I don't even have songs out with, but they would just ask, they were like, hey, do you want to sing the Kesha part on this song? And I was like, sick, I'm going to be there singing with the Maine and singing with Taking Back Sunday. And then it's like Sleeping with Sirens being like, do you want to come and sing this song with, it's like stuff like that are like the highlights of my entire existence. And so being able to like share the stage with these people, and then also be able to have like all these people that listen to all these different bands that are also here listening to me and just like understand this music and like respect it and love it and get excited about it. It's such a beautiful thing. It's my I like love doing collaborations. I love like bringing worlds together. I'm so excited for like the future when I can do that with different genres, because like I grew up listening to a lot different music it's very different than what I make right now. And so being able to kind of bring that kind of stuff, like the Post Malone, Noah Kahan, like collabs, it's kind of the root of both of their careers is like this folky stuff, but they're able to kind of show that side of them through doing collaborations. And so like that's something I'm very excited about.
Yeah, well, it's just a different world now, different tools. More and more are you in control of your own destiny that kind of way.
100%.
You, through social media and everything else, you can just go record anything you want. You could go right now back into, you know, the dress room, and you could just record with your phone a song and put it out over social media, 100%. And it could pop, and everyone would go, why don't you make more music like that?
Yeah,
like exactly. The tools and resources are there. Talking about that though, you have a new album beyond this new song that's awesome and everyone should go stream, but there's a new album. What's up with the new album?
Yeah, I put out an EP about like 3 weeks ago called Good Now, and it's a collection of like just some songs from the last like 2 years that I really love. And it's the title track is Good Now, and it's very different than anything I've put out. It's a lot more kind of pop and like vibey and not as drum heavy, and the chorus isn't, most of my choruses are like let's like belt and like let's like make it super energetic, and this chorus almost is like the opposite. It feels like it's I don't know, it feels like I really wanted to write it about the feelings of kind of spiraling and going through this weird like existential crisis of like, who am I as a person, and making it feel that way and kind of confusing, but also all these different experiences that I was having, and make the song and make the production and everything sound like the actual spiraling that was going on at the time. And so I put that out. I put out like a very stripped acoustic song called Lovesick, which is also pretty different for me, and it's been really fun to do. I feel like I'm so lucky. I'm independent, so I just get to make whatever I want and release it whenever I want, and it's a really exciting experience to be able to be in control of every aspect of it. It's
Absolutely.
a lot of work, but it's very
Sure.
exciting. It's rewarding.
But that's a vulnerable place when you're talking about those types of things, and especially
Yeah.
if you're making music that's a little bit different than what you're known for.
For sure.
Because if you make something that's like what has already hit, like Dress
Right.
or something, you can kind of expect you're going to get support.
Right.
But when you create something different, it's a vulnerable place, because it's like, well, are people going to like this? I mean, if it
Yeah.
comes from the heart, people will. But still, there's that
Sure.
big question mark of like, are people going to follow me in this direction? Are they going to want this version of me?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and it's also the idea of somebody being like, oh, remember when her shit was good?
Yeah,
and
sure.
but I've gotten to this place where I'm like, I am never going to be happy making music to fit other people's expectations. That will never fulfill me. That is like trying to meet somebody's hypothetical version of me. I'm never going to get it right, because I'm not inside your brain. And most people who think they want a certain thing don't even actually really know what they want, And so for me, I've just realized that like all I can do is make stuff that like I feel proud of when I leave the room, and I want to listen to in my car, and makes me feel something, and it makes me feel like I'm being honest and I'm being as transparent as I can be about like a normal person and a very universal experiences. And that's literally all I can do, and try to have representation for other people who may not feel represented in certain music, and like small things like that to make a little bit of change and use my voice when I can. But there's like, for the most part, I'm like, I would rather fail being authentically myself than succeed being somebody I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at.
But the thing is, if you be somebody that you're not gonna succeed.
It's not actually,
it doesn't work.
And people are also too smart. Like listeners, people listen to music, especially nowadays with the amount of information you have on social media about artists and how much information you can find. And they're too smart, and you can't just like pretend to be somebody else. Like people see through it. Like I feel like if I put out a song that I didn't write, everyone would like, maybe that's naive, but like I think the most of my people who really listen to my music would know in like a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Just because I think you just get, it's like knowing somebody. You just know the way they talk. You start to know the way they think, their brain a little bit. And I think that people are too smart. They know when something is too like manufactured and polished, and that's why I kind of love the DIY, like gritty, organic, independent like shit, and being able to just make my own videos and direct them, and like, or co-direct, and then executive produce everything, and I just make sure that I am a part of all of it, instead of just kind of being like, yeah, tell me what to say, or tell me what I should do. And obviously there's collaboration in every single aspect of my career, but people just pay attention, and I want to make stuff that like they know it's me doing it, and if they hate the song, that's fine. Like I hope you like the next one, and if you don't, maybe you'll like the next one, and if you never like one ever again, then like maybe I'm just like not the artist for you, you know?
But new people will pop up.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm happy. I'm like, I like to make what I like to make, and that's kind of my journey.
Has that helped with the imposter syndrome at all? Because a lot of times when you pop up fairly quick, like you have a ton of momentum. I know I listened to another interview where you're talking about imposter syndrome. I've witnessed that with myself quite a few times too. Have you been able to kind of push past that more now that you're, writing a little bit more freely?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's always this weird feeling of like, I think I'm so split in my personalities of like, when I'm on stage, I'm like, I could be playing in front of 50,000 people and I'd be like, I know what I'm doing. I've worked for this. I'm not nervous. I'm not scared about this. I don't feel like there's even a glimmer of like not being able to pull this off. Like genuinely, I am so confident in that. But there are like definitely moments where I'm like not on stage, or I'm like in rooms with people that are like really incredible, or there's like bands or artists asking me to do stuff with them, and I'm like, did they send the email to the wrong person? Like what? Like it's moments like that where I'm just like, I don't understand. So it's like certain things where I'm really confident about, and then other moments where I'm just like, I don't know what I got myself into. But I think that's good. I think there is a good mixture of like being like recognizing like it's like gratitude, I think, also, and just being able to pinch myself and be like, oh, okay, take a step back and be like, this is crazy and this feels uncomfortable, but that's good. And nothing good has ever happened in my life that you didn't feel a little bit uncomfortable for, like no big change. And so I think that's kind of, I've gotten used to that feeling, and I've been like, okay, maybe that's like a good thing. It's good to like take a jump or take a chance and also feel uncomfortable and take risks and like all that kind of stuff. And so I definitely, I struggle with that stuff all the time. Like we could have the same conversation tomorrow and I could be sitting here and be like, I hate the music industry. I feel
I
feel awful all the time. But it really, I mean, it obviously depends. Like luckily today I'm playing a festival with my favorite bands in the world, and I get to like meet amazing people like you and just like have cool conversations. So it's like, how could I be upset, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good life.
Well, when you can slow down and recognize how fortunate the opportunity is, yes, you earned it, but it's still just so fortunate to be able to be in a position like that. There's so many talented people that work their asses off
100%.
and never get what they deserve.
Absolutely.
And so when you can slow down and go, wow, this is truly special. I got to let you go because you got to go meet some fans.
You're good.
But really, the moment of like, these people just want to meet me because I had this effect on them.
That's the part that's weird.
Well,
that's the part that's hard for me to recognize.
Yeah, sure.
But again, it 100% it is like, I couldn't be more grateful. I'm the whole entire thing and this entire process and this entire experience for me has been about human connection and about meeting people and getting to like realize why they like my songs or what we have in common. Like the only reason I make music is because I've felt very isolated and very alone, and I just hoped that somebody would relate to what I was feeling, and then I found people that did, and now we have like this family and this community, and it just keeps growing. So it is all about human connection and experiences and like finding people who also feel like outsiders and like creating like a really accepting and diverse and wonderful community of people who just want to find like other people like them and also just like feel good and be happy and spread positivity and all the good things. I could talk forever. I talk so much, but
I'm all like warm and fuzzy inside right now.
It's beautiful. I'm so lucky, but it was so nice to meet you. Thank you for
absolutely.
having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Passion Pod. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you soon.